Good afternoon and welcome back to another afternoon of fantastic SWC action. We just watched Snipe versus Cognitive Red in our first semifinals match of the weekend, and we're going to check out Cognitive Prime, just Cognitive. We're going to check out Cognitive Gaming versus Five Angry Men in our second semifinals match to see who plays against Snipe in the finals.
So, again, we're going to talk about the seed points here. Remember, Team Dignitas is in first place right now. If COG wins their next two sets, they will take over first seed. Now, given the fact that Snipe is probably not going anywhere, COG Red would have to win. Actually, no, I don't think they can actually get ahead of Snipe anymore. So long as Snipe makes semifinals next week, Snipe is guaranteed third. They can never get to second. So, Snipe third seed, congratulations.
Next week we can mathematically say that Snipe has secured third seed, which is really exciting. And, you know, it's rather unfortunate for Cognitive Red with Dignitas not here. As we said before a number of times, this is a really important matchup or important week for a lot of teams. We'll reiterate again, Team Dignitas and two other teams, Chrysaorus and Resist Gaming, but Dignitas is the one we're focusing on. They're not here. They're in Texas playing in Rooster Teeth Expo. There is a tournament there, so they're not present, and that opened the door for a lot of teams to really do work. Unfortunately, this time around, kind of went standard stuff. But Snipe gets a free trip to the finals. Not so much free. They definitely fought for it. Cognitive Red was a big game, Brandon. But they're going to the finals, so that's exciting for them. And our bands are out.
All right, so we're going to get started here. Remember, guys, this is the second set of semifinals, and just Athena.
Again, like, it's official. They're playing with us. It has to be. I mean,
because all right, let's look down the line here, okay? Because it's not like this is one team doing it. Our first game of the day, Athena was first picked with two teams that we normally don't showcase. Then Five Angry Men first picked it. Then Snipe first picked it. And now I'm pretty sure, let me see, who is this on the left side? That's COG. Yeah, so COG's doing it now.
Yeah.
Four separate teams. Is that a Hades?
That's a Hades and a...
Oh, no, it's an outcome. Okay.
Yeah, that's an outcome. But something I also want to notate, Jeff Hindla doesn't really like playing Athena. Jeff Hindla's not an Athena fan.
Good point.
So, that first pick Athena is curious to me. Either it's a jungle Athena, which I would be enthralled with. I really like jungle Athena.
There's the Hades again, by the way, being hovered on. Osiris banned out here. We're seeing Aphrodite gone already, which kind of limits the field. We see a Janus ban as well, ensuring that they don't have the opportunity to pick up him. Now, I like the Janus ban. I think he is incredible.
The Janus ban is a targeted ban at this point in time. Janus is an incredible god with an incredibly difficult learning curve. The players that know how to play him efficiently, don't use his ultimate for damage, are incredible. Mace of the Face was one of the first people. Mace of the Face was the first person to show us the real power of Janus. So, it has to be banned. Absolutely has to be banned out.
The dropship.
Yeah, exactly. And they went ahead and they banned out Wolfie's Wolf, which I also like. I think Cognitive Gaming right now, historically, their pick ban phase has been their weak point. I think their bans are absolutely on point.
That's what I like about Janus is his ultimate has two clear uses, which is not something that a lot of characters can say. Apollo can say it. I'd say Athena could probably say it as well. But Janus can either teleport a team somewhere, or he can go for that full spear gun nonsense damage. And it hits, man. That thing swings.
It does. It definitely hits. And it's scary. Something else that's scary. Barracuda's getting to play Apollo this time around, Brandon.
Yes.
Recently, Apollo has been banned out or picked first, especially when against Barracuda. And just slipped through the cracks. Madman Mark went the Artemis route, which is a strong hunter as well. We discussed that a game or two ago. But Barracuda's Apollo, if Barracuda wanted to pick a god, it would probably be Apollo.
Yeah.
And Barracuda's one of the best at his positions. You gave him his favorite
Kind of looks
god.
like him, too.
He looks a lot like him, actually. Yeah. It's going to be an uphill battle for this dual lane, I think. Even though they do pick up Kumba, which is a huge boon for them.
So again, we're going to see Kumbhakarna versus Athena, but Athena's had so much better of a push. They're going to be hovering and locking onto Vamana here for Rushed in the solo lane. Whether that's going to be going up against Ra or another character, we're going to find out in Cognitive Gaming's final picking phase here. Freya going to be hovered on, likely to be the jungler, which is going to put Athena into support and Apollo, of course, into ADC. And they have one more pick remaining. I am expecting... Actually, there's really not much to expect. They can pick anything with that Athena, and it's going to work.
Yeah. Exactly. They can pick whatever they want. They're going to lock in Shock. Okay. So it is going to be an Athena support, unless they do something really janky, which I don't exactly think they're going to. Cognitive tried to ban out Wolfie.
Right.
They banned Wolf and Nemesis. Very curious as to who 5 Angry Men. They're going to pick up Mercury. I have not seen Wolfie play a lot of Mercury.
I have not either. I mean, he was in solo lane for so many months. I mean, he jungled in the beginning, but it was a lot of tier. It was a lot of warriors.
Yes.
So now that we're seeing him go into a pure assassin, we've seen him play Fenrir, but you can play Fenrir like a bruiser. This is a pure assassin coming out onto 5 Angry Men here. So, curious. I'm very excited to see him do this. Now, we've seen him do it in ranked games, sure, but this is in tournament. Like, this is, I think, Wolfie's real first assassin appearance in months.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit Wolfie's playstyle, so we'll see how it works out. I'm excited to see. I'm honestly excited. When players pull things out of the woodwork where you don't normally expect them to do that, I'm excited to see it work out, and I want it to work out well. We already talked about how the duo lane is going to be an uphill battle. You have one of the premier hunters playing one of his favorite characters. Despite the fact that you have Kumbhakarna, that's going to be rough. A lot is going to be on Wolfie's shoulders here, DM, to play this Mercury to its full potential.
Right.
But Ao Kuang on Mace to the Face should also provide a little bit of buffer. All in all, I think Cognitive Gaming is definitely a clear favorite, but this is not a match that I've written off, and 5 Angry Men can definitely put up a fight.
Yeah, they've had their upset potentials before, and we're going to see if they have it today. And this is where a lot of the marbles are going to be fought for. They really need this win, so they're going to come in hungry, guys. Stick around. We're going to be back in a few minutes after we get everything set up with Cognitive Gaming versus 5 Angry Men.
Welcome back. We're into our second semifinal matchup of the day. Cognitive Gaming versus 5 Angry Men. Very exciting matchup here. I love the history with these two teams, and we'll discuss that a little bit. But for right now, DM, why don't you introduce us to our members?
That's right. We're going to have the Cog, and we're going to call them Cog Prime here, as we're going to see Jeff Hinla, Barracuda, Andy, Megatron all get grouped up into a tornado as lacking behind. We're going to see MLC Stealth group up on the right side. You're going to find 5 Angry Men. This is going to be Pain to Beyond, Wolfie 2032, not DJ Pernigus, Rush, Mace to the Face, and Madman Mark grouping up for what can be a very big matchup for them if they can take this win.
Yeah, I love this matchup for one main reason. Jeff Hinla used to be Pain to Beyond support.
Yeah.
And now they're facing off against each other in the duo lane in the support role. It's exciting. Pain to Beyond, this is not taking anything away from Pain, but I'm sure Jeff Hinla has taught him the majority of what he knows with respect to support.
This is like Count Dooku trying to mess with the Emperor.
Exactly. In complete seriousness, that's where I was going.
Jeff's looking for quote from episode 3's book, Snip. Quote. Quote.
He is going for it. We can actually quote Brandon on that one this time around. So I will take that to the bank as we see our members of this Smite game go ahead for normal clears. We're going to see mid camps done, red camps soloed by the jungler, etc. And now our teams file into lane.
So Chaos side gets a much better start in the current meta, as you're going to see Madman Mark get to lane at level 2. Bottom side, you're going to see a little bit more health, or rather experience overall on Omega, but they lose lane control to top side from the double camp steal rush right into mid lane, or rather solo lane. So overall, it's a much better play for the Chaos side. Now with that, Cog with first seed still opted for first pick. So it's curious.
It is definitely a curious situation, and right now Wolfie's looking to make something happen early. We saw this work on Mace to the Face a number of games ago. MLC Stealth not going to be so privy to that situation. Right now, they're pressuring Rushed a little bit, Brandon, but I think Rush can 2v1 this lane for a little while.
Now, he walked over a ward, and given the way that he walked through it, I think they recognized the fact that they were about to get ganked. So Wolfie actually just kind of wasting some time here. He's going to leech some experience, but that's a three-way split. At this point, he probably should have been going for red or possibly going for that topside small camp. Given the fact that Wolfie has opted into hand 1, that's a 90-second cooldown, which means it's going to come off cooldown in about 6 to 8 seconds from now, meaning with his current time, he's going to get Hand of the Gods right as he starts the red buff. Very smart rotation.
Yeah, good choice to pick that up. And right now, his dual lane is winning, as is actually losing right now. Barracuda pushed up onto his own tower, but we'll see how this lane progresses. Barracuda and Jeff Hinla versus Pain Deviant and Madman Mark. Definitely something interesting. Side note, Madman Mark used to sub in Denial for Pain. So this is one big Denial dual lane.
We actually saw him play for Snipe as well way back when. So, I mean, he has been definitely making his rounds in the pro circuit. But left side, Madman Mark is actually doing pretty well. It's Jeff Hinla versus his former trainer, I suppose, as under 50% health, and is going to try to work it back as Madman Mark is looking for an opportunity to keep him shut down.
That's certainly the truth, and Solo is actually getting very aggressive right now. Chalk understands, or Megatron understands, that if he's going to do anything to Rushed ever at all, it has to happen sooner rather than later. Once Vamana starts to get online, he's just built against Chalk by default due to his passive. So Megatron's going to have a little bit of problems against Rushed, as he doesn't have the burst that you generally look for, and he can't really sustain against it. They're both going to have instant clear, so as I said, he's looking for the advantage sooner rather than later.
Well, Omega's not going to have the same amount of clear that Rush has until like level 7, level 9, whereas you're going to see this clear. Watch this. Bang. He's going to have the opportunity to push these 3 down. Hand of the Gods will have to be used here from Omega if he wants to keep up. Otherwise, he's just going to take damage. Now, don't forget, guys, the ult trade is huge here for Rush. He can activate Colossal Fury in response to the activation of Stormcall. Ignore the silence, do a bunch of damage, and heal back up in return. So Chalk's going to have to be very careful if he's looking for that opportunity. The one advantage he does have is the fact that Rush is going to himself very, very quickly as he's casting 2 actual abilities per wave. Same thing for Omega, but he has clear casting given the fact that Overflow makes one of his abilities clear every 5 auto attacks.
That is a very key point. And right now, a key point is the fact that Barracuda is in the air. Epic uppercut hit him, but there's next to no follow-up. The Hail of Arrows is going to miss, but here comes Wolfie. Ultimate's good. Barracuda's down. First blood goes to 5 angry men. Cognitive Gaming tries to respond, but Anderson does not have the damage on that ultimate just yet.
Jeez, MLC missing the raw beam. No shot for him. Celestial Beam used to clear the wave there, but the Searing Pain will not give him anything. And check out MLC's mana right now. This is not going to put him to a good spot. He might be able to clear one more wave, but he doesn't have contention, which means he's going to need Andy to rotate into mid to hold this for him, giving Mace to the face a little bit more pressure, but 5 AM is going to start with the first blood. And you know what's great is we were talking about the familiarity with Mercury, and you saw him kind of jump into the tower there with the ultimate, right? Didn't quite space it perfectly.
Yeah, but he got the play correct as much as he got hit, so the point was worth it. And you know, I just have to point out who got first blood on 5 Angry Men. In typical Pain Deviant fashion, the support has the first blood yet again. Pain Deviant never goes a game 0, 1, and 8 million. He always has a couple of kills to his name, which honestly I think works out.
So we're getting pressure here from Andy. Now, recently we saw Andy win the MVP for North America, so we're all looking to him right now to make the big plays. And given the fact that he hasn't gotten any kills or an assist yet, he's still top farm in his team. He's actually in contention for top farm overall, only a tiny smidge behind Wolfie, the enemy jungler, who wound up with an assist. Now, Pain to Beyond right now actually has the kill, which is going to be big for Kumbhakarna, because you look at the board right now, Jeff Hinla still 250 gold away from Midas Boots, and he just left the base. Considerably, Kumbhakarna just left the base, but he has those Midas Boots online on top of a significant amount more gold to begin with.
And that's the key point that I was highlighting. Getting those Midas Boots online as soon as possible sure you can say this about any item DM, but getting Midas boots online
Yeah.
earlier than your opponent is so... The ramifications are almost infinite. Right now, Payne's going to try and test his limits. Going to get the yawn out, but he sees the rotation coming, and he's going to back off. But is he going to back off enough? Andy's coming around the side. A good banish, but he's going to draw the ire of all of the minions, Brandon. And he's going to try and poke from behind, but with Wolfie lurking and Mace in the face right here as well. 4 members are here. They're going to turn this around.
Again, he finds a good ult. He's going to find 2. Barracuda in trouble. Going to be knocked up. The Athena ult's going to land in a weird spot directly inside that tornado. Now, Barra will dash in to find the kill onto Wolfie, and they're turning their sights to Madman. Jeff Hindla gets the taunt. Level 1 shield wall. Barracuda turning the damage on. One more shot's going to do it, and they turn the fight around. Cog now leads 3-1.
That was a great play, and right there, Jeff Hindla's play is what I love to... That's what you see good supports do. I'm low health, but I can do the mathematics to see how low health I can be and what I can get away with. He got the taunt and set up his team, and 7 minutes into the game, Cognitive Gaming has destroyed the Gold Fury.
They lost first blood, but they answered back and now are exactly 1,500 gold, as I said that, ahead, ensuring that that Gold Fury was worth every possible set. And now, wave to wave, they're pushing everything. They have creeps going into the mid lane tower. Right side, they're getting pressure, but check out the mid camps right here. I'm not sure, did that went to 5 a.m. I thought MLC might have stolen it, but the Hand of the Gods was good. But still, Cognitive answers in spades, 1,600 gold up.
Yeah, great play coming out from Cog. And, you know, I want to highlight how they did that. While we see a lull in the action, they played it very carefully to make sure that 5 a.m. didn't back off. Andy came in, and he saw his teammates there, and he didn't go head first because that would be too much of a tell. He stayed back and pulsed from a distance, sort of saying, like, look, you guys can aggress on me. I'm going to be... Just kidding. My entire team is here, and we're going to kill you. So maintaining your spacing and keeping that surprise factor is huge, and that's the reason Cog got the amount of kills that they did in that lane.
So that was a 3-for-0. You can see that they have a lot of lane pressure now, and the levels are starting to reflect that. MLC, level 11. Omega in the solo lane against Rush. Wave to wave, level 11. Actually, he does have a chance to work himself back up here. He is going to gain 4 creeps in experience. It looks like he's going to gain 2 overall in gold, but no, wave to wave, he is behind. And that's, I think, a clear testament to the ability that Omega has to farm, even a lane that he might lose in the early levels. Incredible.
Definitely a good point. And, you know, one more thing that I want to point out is Wolfie, you know, we see the small inconsistencies in the mechanics of the character as we actually see Anister coming in here. Rush is going to go ahead and get out, but he's going to get banished in the middle of his dash. That's going to be a big deal. The slow coming out from stealth. Here it is. There it is. Ultimate from Anister getting the kill. 3v1 here. They still want more, but Wolfie's going to play it safe, and they're going to aggress onto Mace of the Face.
Well, he's going to get onto the tier 2. Won't take too much more damage as Wolfie rotates back in. The blue buff was stolen away. That is going to cripple Rush's lane sustainability as he does not have a way to gain that mana back without buying pots. Looking into the inventory here, we're going to look at Rush. He actually does have a mana pot. I think he recognizes the fact that he's going to need it, but another wave set into the tower. That's going to be 4 more missed creeps in this solo lane, and Rush level 11, whereas Omega's pushing level 13 right now.
Gonna get a lot of stuff into that tower, as you said, and Wolfie's here. I thought we might have saw an aggression, but Anister's gonna pick up a kill in the left-hand lane, and they're still pushing on. Madman Mark is gonna get Barracuda on, falling down from the sky. 4 members of COG converging onto a single angry man, and he's gonna go down unceremoniously as soon as they get the last hit.
So when you're getting rushed on by 4 people, you don't think straight. You're just trying to say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I better do them. Right there, he did 2 things that are going to prove fatal for the next 3 minutes. 1, he used his ultimate. Now, even if he landed the ultimate, and he did, that oomed him to the point where he couldn't have slowed them afterwards. He had no potential of escape once that ult was down, so he's not going to have that for what could be their next engagement. Number 2, he wasn't getting away with 4 people, not with movement abilities, so he used his beads. And beads 1 at this point is level 1, so that means 180-second cooldown. That's going to be 3 minutes where he's not going to have that escape opportunity against a lane that has insane amounts of pull and taunt. They have mesmerize, they have knockbacks. It's going to be very dangerous for him to even come back to this lane.
100% right. And Pain is, they're just going to have to stay in lane together. Pain really can't leave Madman Mark alone anymore. He's level 10. Barracuda's only level 11, but it seems so much larger because of the rotations that Cognitive Gaming is pulling out of thin air. There seems to be 4 members everywhere there's an engagement, and that's basically the reason that Cog is up 6-1 with respect to kills.
I mean, I'm looking back at Omega here. Despite the fact that he got the Gold Fury, he's actually closer to 700 gold ahead right now, almost 800. And that's looks like not even wave to wave right now as he does start clearing it again. He's up so much gold, and the only objective his team has earned is that Gold Fury. So this is really, really big for him right now. But he's got to use it. I mean, he has the opportunity. He's not going to get a kill onto Vamana. I mean, he's just going to be able to escape at this point. There's so many things that Rush can do to stop the chalk damage. So what I want to see is Omega using this opportunity to roam. Look for counter jungle objectives. The small camp's up right now. Rotate into the mid lane and help MLC look for a kill with the silence. And this, finally, it looks like he's going to ward up for that mid camp opportunity, but we're still, minutes away from that.
Yeah, it's going to be about 1 more minute. Mid-camp spawn every 3 minutes if you're unaware. So this means 3, 6, 9, and then 12. We're approaching the 12 minutes, but of course it's going to be more along 12:45 as they do get delayed with each camp as people have to rotate to them. So we'll see that rather soon. We'll see how that goes down. Right now, Andy's getting very deep, chasing Wolfie all the way to his back towers, back harpies, and Mace is not really rotating, so this is going to be an aggression onto the Gold Fury, and with enough interference, Cog could really turn this into a fight, and Pain's going to go down with the help from Barracuda.
Yeah, he's trying to get in there. One more shot's going to do it. He finds the So Beautiful, and it's going to be kind of awkward for him. Does he have the Yawn available? Nice use of the Mez there, increasing his protections overall. Jeff Himla's going to find Mad Mark as they turn their sights to Mace, who is very close to dead right now. Banish is going to miss. MLC will dive, and he is completely sandwiched in the Venn diagram of both Solar Blessing and that Thunder Strike Axe Toss right there. Great play from Cog. Great teamwork.
Fantastic. And teamwork. That is the quote of the day right now, DM. There's rotations, there's teamwork. When you're aggressing onto one objective, the rest of your team is progressing against the enemy team. We're just seeing a cohesive unit, and this type of Smite is leagues ahead of anything else that we see from teams that are a little more disjointed. And unfortunately for 5 Angry Men, they're a little more disjointed at this moment in time.
Now, 13 minutes deep. They got the tower there. A small answer in 500 gold, but honestly, Cog still has so much pressure around this map that they don't really have to worry about much. Look at this. Andy is diving a tower right now as Freya. I mean, that's how much pressure they have. That's how little they care about what they could do now.
Farm on his team, but having the hunter shut down early and allowing your hunter to catch up is huge. And now we're going to see 5 AM turn this around. Now they're the ones diving the tower, and we're going to see how this works out.
So now 9-2 right now. Barracuda has been picked off 2 times. He's actually the only deaths currently on Cog, when there used to be a point in time where Barracuda was the only person who would wind up at the end of the game without deaths. It really seems like the rest of the Cog lineup has just become unbelievably strong in terms of overall movement, juke potential, and positioning in team fights. And you start giving that kind of situation to Omega, who's on a character like Chalk with inherent damage reduction, or Jeff Himla, who has amazing peels, or MLC Stealth, who has the speed of light passive on top of heals himself. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
Right now we're going to see Pain to Beyond banished, and that's a lot of damage coming out from Freya. Pain is down. Barracuda's on the ground looking for Wolfie, deciding not to chase, knowing better. They're going to go ahead and take this tower.
Well, check out Omega in the back line. He does get the silence in 2 big swings. Going to bring Mace under 50% from the level 16 Omega comparatively to the level 15 Ao Kwang, who's just not having the game he's been looking for so far. Mace is in some trouble.
I don't like to be the guy, but Mace is only level 12. He just hit 13.
Yeah, I mean, you compare that to MLC, who's 16. I mean, the 13's big. I mean, that 13 is one of the levels you want to hit as fast as possible because that's level 3 ultimate. But at this point, they don't really have enough pressure to even warrant the usage of it. I mean, he needs the defensive ult. The one time we've seen him ult quite successfully was the kill into Barracuda, but they took nothing off of it.
Exactly. There wasn't really anything after that. It was just a single kill. And right now we're going to look at a fight in the solo lane. Cog is going to destroy the tower. And now 5 Angry Men is left without a defensive structure. They really need to escape. It's 11, 15, and 13 against 16, 16, 16. This is not a fight that 5 Angry Men really want to initiate onto. And here comes the level 17 stealth.
That's right. He's actually going to go right into the tower, throw the beam as Jeff Hinla follows as well. Special delivery might be used here. Looks like they're going to let Jeff escape, at least for now. He does take some damage, but really the damage has been done. They answered the tower back. Barracuda in the left lane is going to get solo farm. They're diving in. Mercury's going for it. Wolfie trying to find a kill onto Andy. Good banish. Now they're looking at in the back line. We're going to see Andy go down here. Rushed very, very low. Pain to Beyond actually not going to take that tornado damage as they do find the kill onto Stealth, and Pain will go down in the jungle as the fight washes out. It was a 2-for-2 trade, but given the fact that they got the tower and Barracuda's getting damage into the tier 2, you gotta give that one once again to Cog.
Yeah, that's it. Cog won that out, but I like that fight, Brandon. 5 Angry Men initiated that in the solo lane, and I like the decision.
This is what we're talking about, F. They got 2 17s for a 16 and 11. On paper, that's a huge win for your team, but they did nothing off of it. They went back.
It's the
heal
stuff
up.
after the stuff. I always preach it.
Stuff.
I always preach it. And 5 Angry Men right now, they're playing safely. They're not confident enough to go for anything after the kills, and that's really preventing them from doing much. 17 minutes into this game, 5,800 gold on the wayside of Cognitive Gaming, also leading in the experience department. Kills, they're leading by 7 as well. Cog is leading in all sorts of categories right now, and it's something that 5 Angry Men, they might be able to stop the bleeding, and they're opting to play it safe instead.
Really, no. We have a lot of low levels on 5 Angry Men. Yeah. They don't have a lot of gold. It's not a lot of items, not a lot of damage, not a lot of control. Not on their CCs are maxed. I mean, this is a really big time for Cog to push and win. Really, and it sucks to say this, but 5 AM is looking for a lucky play. They're looking for a lucky pick. They're waiting for Anister to put himself out of position. They're waiting for Omegatron to be on the wrong side of the map when they engage so they don't have to worry about Stormcall. And this might be an opportunity. They have a lot of people here. Now, Wolfie is going to force Anister up into the lane. Madman took 4 shots there as Omega actually chases him in and finds the kill immediately with Jeff Hinla's help, and they just don't have the pressure. Andy's going to go up here, might actually go down overall. He's pretty low, but they're not chasing him. This is what I'm talking about. They're not using the team effectively, and now Rushed, once again, getting chased out, might go down.
Rush is going to be okay in his ultimate, but the follow-up as soon as he's out might not be so much. MLC is going to turn his sights onto Pain and the rest of them, knowing that they'll be able to meet up with Rush over here. Great taunt coming out from the handler, and Omegatron's going to get the kill onto Pain to Beyond, and they're going to look for the Fire Giant.
Wolfie's ult is down. Ao Kuang is back. We just saw Rush's Vamana go back as well. They have a heal coming down from the Ra. This is uncontested. This is a free 750 gold. This is a free Fire Giant buff, and it's going to be a free trip into Objective Land as Andy moves forward, and Wolfie's going to find himself in a lot of trouble.
Banish, Taunt, Freya is sort of the makeup of things of my nightmares. You're not getting out of it unless you've got the beads, and Wolfie, he's sitting on rank 1 hog. That is his only active at the moment, so not able to beads out of anything, let alone that certain death. So that's going to go ahead and give Cognitive another kill, 15 kills to their name. 5 Angry Men only have 4 angry kills, so 19 and a half minutes in. Cognitive Gaming, again, they have the Fire Giant. Only 3 towers remain for 5 AM. Where does Cog go now? It looks like they're looking for Vamana.
Now, Cog has to remember, if they win today, they get first seed overall going into the LAN, which is going to be huge. I mean, you want to be the highest seed possible. It makes the bracket as easy as possible. And with this, Cog right now has been doing very well to show that they deserve the spot. Now, Andy, again, putting himself deep out of position, resets the blue buff and forces them into a big shot there. Rush force to ult will mean nothing as Barracuda dives in, dodges the Mighty Yawn just barely, and messes out Pain to force him out of the fight. A 4-man grouping here from Cog as they turn their sights to either the tier 2 or the Gold Fury. They have their choice of 1,500 gold wherever they want.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and opt for the Gold Fury Plus. When I say Gold Fury Plus, I mean Gold Fury and the entire jungle that 5 Angry Men call their own. So that's going to be another big boon. Taking a look at the graphs, you just see a steady uptick. And right now, Cognitive wants to get aggressive. And Honestly, that's the right choice. Annister aggressive as always, putting up the banish by himself. Jevhinla playing his role exactly as he should, following his teammate. Andy secures another kill. Andy is now 7-1-7, going on the back, looking for more.
You know, there was a pretty big reason that Andy was the MVP last week, and as he dodges another ultimate, it's going to show why. 2 kills, getting taken down there. Madman Mark forced to retreat and use his beads to get out of the banish as Rushed is forced to retreat. I just saw MLC throw an auto attack at the Phoenix when the tower was still up. I'm calling it out. I'm just saying.
Right now, Annister, the play administrator, just putting in work. They're going to go ahead and pick up their first Phoenix of the game at the 21-minute mark. Great play coming out from Cog. They still have the Fire Giant, and while Barracuda is falling back around the tower, the rest of his team is providing offense in the front.
Look at Omega with the BM! Just sitting there taunting 3 people as his team takes down the mid-tier 2. And he's full health for it. You gotta love it, man. It's that kind of mental gameplay that makes COG so strong, because how do you come back from watching a person stand in front of 3 people and go, do whatever you want?
It's so true. You know, I've talked to a lot of players in the scene, and especially players like Nanton, and there's definitely a mental aspect of, look, I'm leaning against Zapman or Barracuda, and you have this mental oh no in your head already. Well, what happens when those players that I don't necessarily think 5am are intimidated by Cognitive, but you have to respect them. What happens when those players you respect just tell you can't do anything about it? You immediately just feel completely out of reach. And 5am right now, they're looking for something, but there's nothing for them to get safely in their own territory. Cog has stripped them of everything to their name.
And it's only going to get worse. Omega has Chin Size. He has Warrior Tabby, a full Heartseeker, as he has not died yet, as he dives into 4 people who then escape from him. That's trouble. Pain forced to jump out here. Athena going to land, and it looks like Omega's just going to keep the pressure on. Rush forced to jump out. He clears the path. I assume we're going to see him in ultimate if they keep the pressure on, but Andy has found himself a little trophy in the jungle, but good play coming out from Mace. Nice tornado. Going to clean him up.
Barra stuck in the trap, did it on purpose. Madman Mark goes to the waistline after. Is so beautiful, so beautiful. Fantastic play individually coming out from Cognitive Gaming. In addition to the rotation and teamwork we've seen, this is why they're vying for #1 seed, ladies and gentlemen. This is why they're consistently #2 seed. And at the moment, they're looking like they're going to take one.
So now, 23 minutes deep. Tier 2 remains on the right side. There's a Phoenix in the mid lane, Phoenix on the right, and they have 4 people here ready to push down, including who seems to be invincible, Omega. So we're going to get a blink in. They mez out Omega, and they turn their sights in the backline on MLC, who's using that speed of light passive perfectly to dodge everything thrown at him. Thunderstrike torrent onto Mace, going to take him down about 30% as they turn their sights to Pain, who gets taunted inside Shield Wall 2. Storm Call going to go down, not silencing, but doing enough damage to ensure that they don't have the pressure. Omega just blowing him up, rush down to 1 hit, but Wolfie gets picked up by Barracuda in the back line there. There's no more pressure here from 5 Finger Men. The tier 2 has to go down here because they just
opting someplace else.
Fire Giant is back.
They
did that without Fire Giant?
Yeah, it had despawned on them, and we're going to see Cognitive go for this. The only ones up are Madman Mark and Mace to the face, and they can definitely be pushed out by their team. They're going to get aggressive. They're going to abandon the fight. They're going to come back. All right, now. We see Omegatron, because he hasn't died, he's completely covered in blood. That's one of the cooler aspects of the skin. Each kill, you get covered in blood on the Slaughterhouse Chalk skin, and when you die, it gets reset. Well, that's a good excuse to never die, DM. Just get your guy bloody as hell.
So you're saying you don't want to die in a video game because you want to be covered in blood. That's gross. That's disgusting.
Yes. Well, that's the way
I don't want to be covered in blood. Every time I'm playing from now on, I'm just going to self-destruct in towers every 3 kills.
I actually believe that, but you can't back in base and go buy Clorox like you do in real life. There's no Clorox and Izzy section of the store in Smite.
Those are in different sections of the store, thank you.
But they taste the same.
That's rude. You're being rude.
Shots fired as we see Cognitive Gaming return to the lane phase almost. All 3 of them are going to go ahead and go into the left-hand lane while Ra and Chalk decide to stay in the mid. 5am doing whatever they can, and right now, this is a bad sight for Sore Eyes.
There's one place you don't want to be, and that's against Freya, who has Fire Giant in the end game. That's the last place you would ever want to be in Smite.
And at the moment, 3 members of Five Finger Men are still up. They're going to try and defend this Phoenix. As you said before, Brandon, I don't think they can. I hear music. I hear something. Barracuda behind, coming down in the air, looking for somebody to kill. Payne's going to dash out of there, going to go ahead and pick up the Phoenix as he should. This is going to be the second Phoenix of the game as the original one.
Look at Omega!
Omega's in their base, killing their dudes. He might even die for this. I don't think he minds. This is all a part of Omega's plan.
He just forced out so many abilities, so much pressure, and they were forced to give away another Phoenix as a result of it. And I don't even think he used an ability there.
No, and that's the point I want to make, that you said it forced out the Phoenix. It looked like just standard BM. I'm going to walk into your base and be that guy that's diving and feeding, and there was actual thought process there. Chalk could scare enough people to back off, and Wolfie gets eliminated immediately. They're going to keep aggressing onto this. People are very low. Rush is forced to back out of the fight. The crits are real on a Pain to Beyond. Madman Mark actually getting the hog onto a lot of players, but MLC Stealth picks up Mace to the face, and now there's a single member guarding this Phoenix. Wait 1 second. There's no one at all. This is going to be the third Phoenix for the game, and they're going to push for the V.
This is it, guys. The Phoenix is under half. They have a ton of shots getting blared down. Pain to Beyond Sleepy should be back up within about 10 seconds or so if it's not up already. But they're going to turn their sights to Rush. They know that Pain doesn't have the damage. He's level 13. At this point, the only thing he can do is yawn. And I don't really like the grouping up here because they're all going to get yawned in a second here. But the knockback's not going to be good. 2 people go to sleep. Wolfie has respawn, but Pain goes down. Jeff continues to tank it under 40%. Wolfie can't even leave the base at this point. He knows it's over. To finals goes Cog.
Great play overall from Cognitive Gaming. Five Angry Men did what they could, but 20,000 gold down the 27-minute mark. Not much to do there. 23 kills over the opponent. Cognitive Gaming wins out with 29 kills overall. They're headed to the finals.
I absolutely love the play coming up from Cog. They dropped first blood, but after that, it just seems like they were a completely different team. They wound up 20,000 gold in the lead at the end. That's nuts. And then you look at the damage. Highest damage in the game was Mace at 20,000, except for Andy, who is at 30,000.
30,000 for an assassin, as that basically is what Freya is. I know we call her a mage.
She's not a
I have
mage.
all sorts of issues with that labeling, but she's an assassin, and it's absolutely fantastic. One thing that I really want to highlight before we cut it to a break, though, is the quote, end quote, BM from Cognitive, because I know this is going to be highlighted. Yes, it was definitely a little flare-tastic, shall we say. There was a little tongue-in-cheek going on, but the play coming out from Omega, the taunts initially, he's zoning the team away so that his team can take down the tower. He dove into base onto 5 dudes. Yeah, that might seem like it allowed his team to go ahead and get the Phoenix. Attacking Wolfie in the base, yeah, it allowed his team to separate and prevent him from really interfering. So those 3 plays, yeah, there's a little something else going on there, but it is strategically sound, and I love the style that Cog plays, and I commend them for it. Great job.
We're going to cut to a quick break, guys, and we'll be back with the conclusion of the tournament real soon, so stick around.